What's going on? What's going on? Peace, family. Shalom. Shalom, everybody. Peace, and blessings. You know, hope everybody doing good. It's a rainy day today. I don't know if y'all can see, but it's a little gloomy and rainy outside. But I'm out here. Got the grill going. We got some chicken and some fish on that thing. You know what I mean? You know, and just enjoying the day. What's going on, family? Hey, as y'all come in, you know, just drop a comment in the chat. Show the chat some love. I appreciate it. You know what I mean? I want to chop it up with y'all on this Sunday afternoon, or this Sunday evening, rather, because the sun about to start going down in a minute. You know, so I want to chop it up with y'all. Hope y'all doing good. Hope everybody had a good weekend, good holiday season for those who celebrate the holidays, for those who don't. You know, I hope y'all had a good, past couple of weeks. I want to talk about, man, you know, I was just reflecting today, man, you know, because there's a lot of stuff that we could be talking about, man, as far as what's going on in the world, personal life. You know what I mean? It's just a lot of stuff that we could be chopping it up about. Shalom, family in the woods. Okay, farming with D. Man, hey, what you hunting? Deer or what? What you hunting? Turkey, deer? Man, I got to get on my hunting tip, man. I got some deer that's on my property. Oh, you hunt deer? Okay, man. Best of luck to you. Blessings to you. Hopefully you bring a big buck, you know, a big 8 point, 6 point, whatever you hunting for, some does. It don't even matter. As long as you putting meat in your freezer. But I hope you get something good. It's the perfect time to be out hunting too. But I gotta set up my hunting blind, get out there, you know, because like I say, I be having some deer on my property and stuff, so I'm gonna set some corn out and stuff, you know, try to bait them or whatever the case may be. But yeah, you know, it's a lot of stuff, man. I ain't gonna lie, it's a lot of stuff that we could be talking about, you know, with stuff that's going on in the world. You know, those who are, you know, biblical believers. We could talk about, you know, different things that's going on as far as with Bible prophecy. We could talk about, you know, the economic system. We could talk about the wars. We could talk about, you know, just anything under the sun, whatever's in the headlines. Trying to think of the biggest thing that was in the headlines recently. I don't even much know. You know what I mean? Because I don't really be trying to keep up with that stuff. But we could talk about a lot of stuff, man. But you know, in the midst of all that, man, like I'm just thinking, like, man, it's raining outside. You know what I mean? Let's talk about the rain, because the rain is like a, you know, it's for a lot of people. A lot of people don't like the rain. They don't like the rainy season. They don't like, you know what I mean, having to stay in the house, especially when it's cold and it's raining too. You know what I mean? A lot of people hate the rain, you know. Like I know a lot of people get more depressed when it's rainy and it's gloomy out. You know what I mean? So I'm like, man, you know, let's talk about the rain. Let's talk about the rainy season, both physically and metaphorically. You feel me? So that's what I was just, you know, kind of just reflecting, because when you in the rain and when you know, in a season to where it ain't all sunny, you can't be outside doing what you want to do, but you got to be inside kind of, whatever the case may be. It allows you to sit and think. It allows you to sit and kind of, you know what I mean? Just ponder. You know what I mean? And that's ain't nothing wrong with that. But life has seasons. You know what I mean? Both physically and metaphorically, spiritually, all that type of stuff. So when we talking about seasons, right? And it talks about that in the Bible. I want to say it's Proverbs. I forget what scripture, but it talks about, you know, pretty much the seasons and everything like that. But there's a season for everything. You know what I mean? You have a spring, right? Which is when life starts to really come out. You know what I mean? And then, you know, if you're a farmer, you know, in the springtime, that's when the ground starts to warm up and everything like that. And you can start, you know, pretty much preparing, getting your soil ready. You know, that's also the time for, you know, a lot of so specifically for me, you know what I mean, keeping a lot of the feast days in the Bible, or all of them really, that's the time of Passover as well. You know what I mean? So that's when you just coming out of the cold, harsh winter, You know what I mean? And you start, the ground starting to warm up, the sun starting to shine, the birds starting to chirp, you know, the flowers starting to bloom. That's the spring. You know what I mean? We love the spring. You see what I'm saying? Because you just coming out of a dark time, if you will. You just coming out of a dark time, the winter. You see what I'm saying? Where you've been hunkered down. You know what I mean? And you ain't been able to do as much. The land ain't been able to do as much. So you just coming out of that, and now you starting to really, you know what I mean? Everybody love when it's warm and sunny out. You see what I'm saying? Myself included. So the springtime, you know, it has to come. It's a part of it, and that's in life too. You know what I mean? In life, you have those seasons where you might just be coming out of a dark time in your life, and now you starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and the sun starting to shine, and you know you starting to get that optimism, and things starting to look better for you, you know, on the up and up. And this the thing, like this the thing with verses in the spiritual realm or in the metaphorical realm, in the physical realm. The winter or the spring or whatever season you in, that can last years. It can even last decades. You see what I'm saying? Just depending on your trajectory in life. You know what I mean? That can last a long time. It's not just like yearly. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, we have seasons. So you got the spring, you know, which pretty much everybody loves, and then you got the summer. Shalom, shalom, your house portion, shalom, or a coat. But you know, you know, after the spring, you got the summer. So in the spring, really, spring is really time to prepare. You feel what I'm saying? It's time to prepare the ground. It's time to start planting your seeds, whatever the case may be. So even in your life, if you know, seeing that light at the end of the tunnel where you just coming out of a dark period, now it's time to start preparing for a harvest time in your life. You feel what I'm saying? Because summer and fall is really a harvest time. So summer, you know, it's hot out pretty much. You know what I mean? It's work, it's labor. You see what I'm saying? You still reaping in the summer too. You know, you still having some harvest. Like, you know, anybody who garden, you know, you still have harvest in the summer, because guess what? When you plant your seeds in the spring, they starting to grow. So in the summertime, you starting to see some reaping pretty much. It's not the fullness like when it comes in the fall, but still, you still seeing some reaping. So summer is really a time of work. It's time to put your hand to the plow. It's time to, you know what I mean, really like lock in, because you already prepared. Now you going full force in it. You know what I mean? You focused, you locked in. And that's the same thing, you know, just within life. You know what I mean? When you come out of a dark time, and then when you go into a time of preparation for, before you get to the time of work, to where, because, you know, even the scripture said, you know what I mean? The scripture say, this man can plant the seed, this man can water it, but only the Most High gives the increase. You feel what I'm saying? So you really just putting your hand to the plow, and you really just working, and you really just waiting for the Most High to give the increase. So in the summertime, you know what I mean, is a good time too. People love the summertime because, you know, there's a lot of different festivities and things like that, you know, in the physical realm, and then also in the spiritual realm in your lifetime, because that's when you working, that's when you locked in, that's when you focus on something, that's when you focus on the goal, or whatever trajectory or whatever path you on. You see what I'm saying? You locked in at that point. And then you got the fall time. The fall is the harvest. You feel what I'm saying? And that's when you start to see the dividends from whatever you've been sowing. And so, like, you know, as farmers or homesteaders or gardeners or whatever you are in this physical realm, you know, you starting to really see the harvest coming in. So if you planted, you know, 5 acres of corn, you planted 5 acres of peas, or, you know, whatever you planted, you know what I mean? You planted, you know, a row of tomatoes, or snap peas, or watermelon, or, you know, whatever you planted, that's when you starting to see the harvest starting to come in. Like it's like this. You feel what I'm saying? And so during the times of the harvest, when you actually getting that what you sowed, you reaping, it's also a time of preparation as well, because you want to prepare for the next season when you're not going to have as plentiful as a harvest. You feel me? So you want to start preserving, putting stuff to the side. You know what I mean? That's what you want to do. You know what I mean? And then even in the spiritual realm of your lifetime, you know what I mean? In your spiritual life, or whatever the case may be, when you start reaping, and this is the thing, in the spiritual, you can read positive and you can read negative, or you can read good and bad. Whatever word terminology you want to use, but you can read good and bad. So say during the spring and the summertime, you was preparing and you was sowing, but you was sowing bad seed. You was sowing evil thoughts. You know what I mean? Evil ways, evil deeds. Just sowing to your flesh or whatever the case may be. That's what you're gonna reap. That's what you're gonna reap in the spiritual realm during that time of harvest, during that time of fall. If you've been sowing gluttony, guess what? You're gonna reap disease. You see what I'm saying? If you've been sowing fornication, you're gonna reap stress, drama, whatever come with it. You know what I mean? So it's important to understand the seasons, and then you got the winter where pretty much it's like it's pretty much just you hunkering down, like it's cold, like you ain't really able to do nothing like that. But it's also a time of rest. It's also a time of rest and recuperation, to the point to where you can sit and you can reflect for the next season or the next year or whatever, or the next point in your life. And so in all that though, you still have rainy seasons within every season. You got rainy seasons in the spring, or rainy times in the spring. You got rainy times in the summer, the fall, and the winter. So you got rain through it all. You know what I mean? So even if you in the season where the sun shining is good and you reaping a harvest, or you working or you preparing or whatever, it's still gonna rain. It's still gonna rain. You know what I mean? It's still gonna rain. And so in that time when it's raining, that's really a time of reflection. That's a time of reflection. You know what I mean? Because we all love when it's sunny out, when it's this or that. When the elements are favorable, we love it. But for some reason, we don't embrace the not so happy times. The times where we forced to sit and deal with ourselves and face our like the world would say, when you're facing your demons or when you're facing your problems or whatever the case may be. We don't really too much like them times, them sobering times. You know what I mean? Where you can't control what's going on. You just got to endure. You feel me? You just got to endure. So, no matter what season you in, it's going to be rained up. It's going to be rained up. And that rain, let me take this hood off, man. I'm getting a little hot. Got this grill right next to me. But when you're in the rainy season, right? You're not able to go out and really do what you want to do or whatever. So in other words, the rainy seasons or the rainy times, it makes you have to be content. It makes you have to sit down somewhere. Like the old people would say, sit down somewhere. You know what I mean? Because you're so busy and you're so active and you trying to do this, that, and the third. But it's like sometimes it's good to just sit down. It's good to just sit down and reflect, to think, to ponder, to really face your issues, your vices, your demons, whatever you fight, and face it head on. You know what I mean? And so, I was just thinking about that, and this is the thing, right? We view those times as negative times. We view the rainy seasons as negative times, where it's like, man, it's gloomy, it's dark, man, I hate this, that, and the third. I wish it was sunny. I wish it was warm, this, that. We view that as negative. But in actuality, it's necessary. Shalom. Shalom, cuz. What's going on, cuz? Vincent, what's going on? So, we view it as negative. We view it as, oh man, I hate this, that, and the third. Is cold, is wet, is that. But guess what? It's necessary, because if you didn't have the rain, if you didn't have, the times to where the Most High is sending down rain, then guess what you would have? You would have a drought. You see what I'm saying? Like, see, especially in the West, in the Western Hemisphere, where everything is built off capitalism and production and making profits and money and all that type of stuff, we often lose sight of the essentials that we need that may not be the most convenient, like rain. You feel what I'm saying? Because If you own a business, whatever business you own, you know what I mean, especially if it has to do with serving people, you're gonna want the most favorable conditions because that's when you're gonna make your most money. When it's sunny out, when it's warm, you know what I mean? The women can wear the dresses, the men they can wear their shorts, they can be comfortable. They ain't gotta worry about the rain, the cold, none of that. So that's when you're gonna make the most money. That's when people gonna be the most happy, the most smiling, right? But during the rainy season, business might slow down because people ain't trying to come out their house. They ain't trying to get in the car. It's wet outside, and they gotta, pull out the umbrella, and they gotta put on their hoodies, and they gotta, you know what I mean, man. People ain't trying to be out like that. So guess what? It's not beneficial for business per se. But guess what? At the end of the day, if you look at the bigger picture, if it stopped raining, right, then the product or the service that you selling in your business wouldn't be as plentiful because you would be in what you would call a drought. You would be praying for rain. You got people in California, people in Nevada, people in like a lot of these different dry desert places that pray for rain because they don't get it. You see what I'm saying? In the Bible, you know what I'm saying? The Most High, he stopped it from raining on the land through the prophet. He stopped it from raining on the land, right? So what? The plants, although they had the sunlight, they didn't have the rain to nourish and to moisturize the land. So guess what? It causes famine. It causes drought. It causes all these horrible things if you don't got the rain. You see what I'm saying? So would you rather have it or not have it? Even though it's inconvenient in terms of what your plans are and in terms of what you're trying to do, the profit, but at the same time, you wouldn't be able to get none of it if it didn't rain. So we need the rain. The rain is beneficial because if you lived in a place where it didn't rain, like California or whatever the case may be, then you would be you would be like, man, this is this is crazy. You'll be praying for rain while these wildfires starting up at. Where these people they limited on how much water they can use per day. You feel what I'm saying? Like it's crazy laws in a lot of these places, especially like California, where they're like, you can only use this amount of water per day. You know what I mean? You can't wash your car, and like just all kind of crazy stuff, right? Because guess what? The rain isn't in abundance. You see what I'm saying? Versus somewhere where it always rain, where if you go, to somewhere like Oregon or Washington State, where it's always raining. You know what I mean? Even though they do get sunlight, but most of it is rain. Guess what? They don't have to worry about droughts. They don't have to worry about a lot of this stuff that people who don't got rain are worried about. So it's like the rain is necessary. And that's just even in our lives, whatever season we in. You might be in a season to where, man, things going good. You're reaping good dividends in your life. The Most High is showing you favor. But here come a rainy season that sit you down, that make you have to fight in the spirit or deal with this or deal with that. You know what I mean? And you like confused. And you like, man, like what's going on? But it's making you content. It's making you reflect because guess what? In the times to where, you was doing this or you was doing that, you wasn't able to reflect and pause and really like just be still for a moment. You see what I'm saying? To really think. The Most High might send that rain so that way you can do that. So that way you can be content. You feel what I'm saying? To where you can hear that still voice of him. You know what I mean? So I was just reflecting, man, because me personally, I like the rain. I like the rainy season because it allows me to sit and think and to be at peace and to, you know what I mean, really focus on, things that not on the forefront of my mind when I'm constantly going and going and going, because that's another thing. Especially in America, especially in these westernized countries, in these Hellenized places, right? If you don't know what Hellenism is, look it up. You know what I mean? But in a lot of these places, these secular cultures that we live in, it's about go, go, go. Busy, busy, busy. Profit, profit, profit. Hey, shalom, G Mama. Shalom. Thank you for tuning in. It's about being busy. It's about profiting. It's about just going. It's about doing all this stuff, man. And when you going, when you busy, you're not able to really like sit and reflect. You're not able to really just, you know what I mean, just be content. And so it really takes you away from your true purpose. Because I'm gonna put this hood back on because it's getting a little cold. But it takes you away from your true purpose, right? Because you might think your true purpose is, well, my true purpose is working in accounting or finance. Y'all makes it rain on the just and the unjust. We have to allow y'all to guide us in the season. Exactly. We have to have that ear out for what y'all saying to us in the season. Because like you said, because it rains on the just and the unjust. You know what I mean? So we all get the same rain. You know what I mean? We all get it, whether you just or unjust. But um, like I was saying, when we so busy and we living in this, you know, where's profit, where's this and that, because you know we see it on Instagram, we see it on Facebook. You know what I mean? Everybody, oh, you know, millionaire, generational wealth. You know what I mean? All this type of stuff. You know, we see that constantly. Oh, you know, retire from your job early so you can work for yourself. All this type of stuff. And that's all good. I'm not saying nothing bad against none of that, right? But I'm just saying like that breeds a over ambitious mindset in us, which causes us to get out here and get busy, which it ain't nothing wrong with working and putting your hand to the plow. But it allows us to be too busy. And it takes us away from our true purpose. Because what's our true purpose on this earth? Because the essentials that a man or woman needs on this earth is water, shelter, food, protection. You see what I'm saying? Those are the basic things that we need. Top is proud of you. Thank you, Mama Rhoda. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But that takes you away from your true purpose, because your true purpose is to be a provider. Your true purpose is to be a protector. Your true purpose is to um you know, be a good steward over what the Most High has given you. Your true purpose is to be a good parent to the children that you have brought into the world, to be a good husband or a wife to the person that you made a covenant with. You see what I'm saying? And to you know, and to provide, like I said, provide already, protect already, right? Put food on the table. All of that is what your true purpose is, and to serve the Most High, to serve the Creator, to serve the one who created us all. That is your true purpose, right? Everything else comes second. Everything else is not a top priority. Now, does it mean you can't do those things? No, it doesn't mean that, because you can absolutely do those things as long as you keep those things in their proper perspectives, right? If you keep those things in their proper place. But we have to realize what our true purpose is, because a lot of times we can allow this culture that we live in to get us so busy to the point to where we're not even serving our true purpose. You so busy at work that you becoming a bad husband or a bad wife or a bad parent. You see what I'm saying? You so busy to where you're not even paying attention to your health, what you putting in your body, right? You so busy doing this, you know, getting this degree, or, you know, trying to excel in this career, or trying to do this business, that you don't even have the basic life skills to know how to take care of yourself or to survive in a survivalist situation. You don't even know none of that. And then you so busy trying to gain riches that you're losing your soul, and that you don't even know who the Creator is. You don't even have a relationship with Him. You're not even tapped in with Him. All this stuff is taking you away from your purpose if you don't put it in this proper place, and understand that there's a place for everything. There's a season for everything. And when the rain does come, you're not trying to sit here and work through the rain. But guess what? You sitting here and you reflecting, and you sitting down, and and you know, you regrouping, and you being content, and you able to hear that still small voice. You know what I mean? To tell you what you need to be doing. So, you know, the rain, it's necessary. The seasons that we go through in life is necessary. You know what I mean? It's winter now. So guess what? I know a lot of people don't like the winter time because it's cold. You know, you're not really able to grow a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? Like you is in the summertime. You know, you're not really able to do a lot. You really forced to sit down somewhere. But guess what? That's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. You know what I mean? So learn to embrace every season. Learn to embrace every season. Yeah, let me check on my food on this grill real quick. I'll be right back. I'm just flipping this chicken, y'all. I'll be right there. Hold on. All right, y'all. My bad. Had to flip that chicken and that fish and all that type of stuff. Well, I don't want to burn that. But yeah, you know, ain't we have to embrace every season. What got going on? We gotta embrace every season, and we gotta, you know what I mean. When it's time to just sit down and relax and reflect, embrace that because that's needed. Because again, like I said, like look at it in the physical, right? When you see a place that's constantly got sun, but no rain, it's gonna become a desert. It's gonna become barren. It's gonna become a drought. It's gonna become a famine in that place, right? Because I mean, although they got the sun, which is great, because we need the sun, but they got too much of it. It's the same thing within your life. You constantly going, and you're not allowing time to just sit, kick back, you know, and reflect on things. You see what I'm saying? So you want to embrace all seasons of life, even when it's rainy out, even when it's gloomy out, even when it's cold out, even when it's not convenient, because it's necessary for you to have a fruitful life. Yes, ma'am. That sounds good. I can't wait to see y'all. Can't wait to see y'all. You know what I mean? So you don't want to constantly be on go. That smoke coming from that grill. But you don't want to constantly be on go. You don't want to constantly just always be busy and not really focusing on your uh true purpose, if you will. You're not really embracing every season, but you're trying to just work through every season and be busy and not really sit time and to take the time to actually really enjoy the season that you in. Because even if you're in a hard season in your life, even if you're in a hard season in your life where you feel like it's just dark, that's still a season you need to embrace because you're learning a lesson through that. You feel what I'm saying? Like just hey, being honest, like I'm in one of them seasons right now where it's just like, yeah, this might be going on, that might be going on, but I'm learning. I'm learning a lot because guess what? When you learn, you don't repeat those mistakes when you actually truly learn a lesson. You see what I'm saying? Like when you actually learn and embrace the lesson, like man, you know what I mean? Like I done been in some jams, right? And when I'm in the jam, I'm sitting here thinking like, well, man, I'm thankful for this because it could have turned out like this. It could have turned out like that. Even though I'm facing something, that's, can be viewed as negative. It is negative. It's not favorable at all. But at the same time, it's like, it could have turned out way worse than this. It could have turned out way worse than that. So I need to embrace this, learn this lesson so I don't repeat the same mistake. so I don't have to keep going through this lesson. But only when you sit and you allow yourself to embrace all seasons, whether it's rain, whether it's sleet, whether it's snow, whether it's hail, whether it's cold, and you allow yourself to embrace that, will you truly be able to understand the lessons? Because you got to think, man, like you got people in places like Africa, Asia, Australia, a lot of these different places, right? Where these people, they're in tune with nature. They're one with nature, right? And they're farmers, and they're, they do all that type of stuff, right? They pray for the rain. When the rain comes, they rejoice, they shout, and they happy when the rain comes. But over here in the West, we sad when the rain comes because we not seeing it for what it is. We not embracing it. You don't understand that food that you eating, that requires a rainy season. It's not just all sunshine when it comes to growing that food. No, you need rain too. Because the rain not only does it water the plants and the trees that provide you sustenance, but guess what? It also goes deep into the earth, and it collects in the earth, and that way you could drill a well, and then that's water that you drink. That's water that you feed to your livestock. That also provides you food. That's water that you bathe with. You see what I'm saying? So we need that. We need that. And the places that don't have that wish they did have that. So it's like, why are we not embracing those seasons in our life as well? Why are we not embracing those seasons in our life? Because when you go through something that's not all sunshines and rainbows, but it's rainy and it's cold and it's gloomy and it's this and that, right? But it builds your toughness. It builds your stamina. It gives you a deeper appreciation for when the favorable times do come, right? Like I used to always like question, like, man, like, why I had to grow up the way I grew up. You know what I mean? In poverty and, around, just in the hood environment, right? Like, I used to hate that. Like, man, why I wasn't blessed with, you know what I'm saying, a mama or a daddy with a good job, or, a 2-parent household where my parents married and all this and that, right? But then as I got older, I started to understand, like, man, like going through what I went through, it made me appreciate stuff. It made me tough. It made me, and don't get me wrong, it's still dysfunction at the end of the day. I understand that. But I'm just telling you the positive traits that I gained from what I went through, right? You see what I'm saying? It taught me responsibility. It taught me a lot of different things that if I was just handed everything, I wouldn't have received that. See what I'm saying? So embracing that rainy season or that rainy time or that whatever time, you know what I mean? It allowed me to be able to capitalize on when the sunshine did come, when the spring did come, when the harvest did come. It taught me to appreciate stuff like that. I'm late. What's up, fam? Hey, shalom, family. Saint Moshe, shalom, man. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, man. I wasn't talking about, man. I was just talking about the rain and just the different seasons of life, for real. You know what I mean? Just reflecting. I don't know what the weather like where y'all at, but I know it's raining here and it's cold here today. Yesterday it was sunny and it was a little warm, but now today it's raining and it's cold. But guess what? I appreciate this, this time, because guess what? My plants and my trees out there getting water, gloomy about 60. Yeah, it's probably like where I'm at, it's probably like in the 50s, and it's gloomy and rainy. But guess what? My land getting rain, it's getting moisture. You feel what I'm saying? My plants and trees and all that. And then guess what? That water that's collected in the ground is going down there. It's going down deep into the ground to the point to where my well can constantly be, producing. So I'm not even tripping on it. And that's what I'm just talking about today in life in general. When you have those times in your life in the spiritual realm, not necessarily in the physical, but in the spiritual realm where it's raining and all that type of stuff, that you learn to embrace it. They got a saying in the army called embrace the suck. When you embrace the suck, you know what I mean? It makes it not suck no more. And guess what? It makes you tough. It makes you strong. It makes you a killing machine, as the army would say. You know what I mean? But and just in life in general, when you're going through rainy times, it's making you tough. It's making you prepared. That's why when the Most High, when He gives us laws and statutes and commandments and different things that we need to obey and abide by. A lot of those things require sacrifice. A lot of those things require you giving up something. You see what I'm saying? Something that's unfavorable. A lot of times that means abstaining, fasting, different things that in the Bible it says afflicting your soul. You know what I mean? To afflict your soul. That's not favorable, but guess what? When you do afflict your soul, guess what you're able to do? You're able to withstand temptation a lot easier than somebody who doesn't afflict their soul. So when you embrace the rain, when you embrace the cold, when you embrace the winter in these seasons in your life, guess what? It allows you to withstand a lot of these different temptations and a lot of these different traps that the enemy may set for you. You feel what I'm saying? Learn to afflict your soul and learn to embrace it when you do. Learn to, not saying you got to be all smile and happy and it, nah, man, because it's not favorable. But guess what? When you just, it's a saying, they say just take it on the chin. When you take it on the chin and you learn and you reflect and you really able to, you know what I mean? Like, just really process it all and absorb it all. Hey, shalom, lots and land homestead, shalom. And process it all in a healthy manner. It's only going to make you grow. It's only for your benefit. Remember, the rain, the cold, the sleet, the sunshine, you know what I mean? The winds, all of it is for your benefit. All of the seasons, all of the elements, they're for your benefit. Because if you didn't have one of them, you wish you would have had it. If you live in a place where it rains a lot and not a lot of sun comes, you're going to wish you had more sun. If you live in a place where it's constantly sunny, but it's no rain, you're going to wish you had rain. You feel me? So just embrace all aspects, all seasons, all parts of life. And understand that it all works together for the greater good, for the bigger picture. It all works together. We need it. Balance is just, exactly. Balance is just. We need balance. The Bible says false scales is an abomination to the Most High. You need balance. You need balanced scales. You know what I mean? But, that's really all I really want to talk about for real, because I just want to encourage y'all, especially as we go into this winter season. You know what I mean? We already in it, but, as we going deeper into it, embrace it. Use this time, let your land rest. Learn to reflect. Learn to start, reflecting on what you did wrong last year to the point where what you can do better this year. With your goals. You see what I'm saying? So if you feel like, okay, man, this is what I did wrong in my garden. And, I'm doing the same thing because I'm like, man, next year, my garden going to be fire. Like, my garden going to be, like, I need to tighten up on that. We can start preparing for the next season, exactly. Because I ain't gonna lie, I'm like, man, this next year, like with my garden, I want to grow. I want to try to grow at least half of all the produce that my family eats, right? I could do that with the meat. I know how to do that with the meat. I know how to butcher. I know how to, you know what I mean? If I'm not raising it myself, I know where to go get it. I know how to get it at a good price, all that type of stuff. And I can come and butcher it myself and really kind of be self-sufficient with that. But now I'm like, okay, now it's time to do the vegetables. You know what I'm saying? Now it's time to start getting better at building projects. Now it's time to start getting better at this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? Planting more trees to the point to where in the next year or two that they can be producing. You feel what I'm saying? And that way I won't have to worry about, constantly going to the supermarket or to the store for fruits and vegetables and leafy greens or whatever the case may be, potatoes, all that type of stuff. I can grow all that here. I got the space for it. Learning how to start clearing my own land. Learning how to really just start, you know what I mean? Just being overall self-sufficient. So like just taking the time to reflect on what I did wrong this year, what I could do better next year, how I could, make it more budget friendly, or start brainstorming ideas. See, you could do all this stuff when you embrace the rainy season. You know why? Because you're reflecting and you're thinking and your mind is working, and now you're able to start brainstorming. You see the benefit in it. You see the benefit in it, even though the conditions are not favorable. But guess what? It makes you content. It makes you to be content. It makes you to sit down somewhere. You feel what I'm saying? When you sit down somewhere, you start thinking, your mind start racing. Like I don't know if anybody ever here been to jail before, right? But if you ever been to jail before, when you locked up in that cell, bro, you ain't got nothing. You ain't got time but to think. You feel what I'm saying? You ain't got time but to think. And even, if you've been in the military, right? And you've been on like a long ruck march or a foot march, guess what? While you're doing that, your mind is thinking. If you're an athlete, you feel what I'm saying? And you in an intense workout, your mind is you thinking. You see what I'm saying? And when you're recovering as well, you thinking. So, you just wanna be content. You want to think. You want to reflect, so that way you can make the next year better. Because again, what's the overall goal that I teach, that I talk about and preach? It's self-sufficiency. The overall goal is self-sufficiency. When you start seeing all these additives and chemicals and preservatives and red dye this, yellow dye this, and all this type of stuff, when you start seeing all these ingredients, man, you're like, hold on, bro, they putting too much stuff in this food. They putting too much stuff in these. You see what I'm saying? These ketchup. Ketchup should just be what? Tomatoes, water, sugar, salt, whatever seasoning you put in there. But they got bicarbonate, preservative, this, red dot. Like, why y'all got all that in here? So when you start paying attention to that, you're like, man, they really trying to kill us. When you start seeing like, okay, this corporation, they pretty much have a monopoly on this, and they control what goes in this and that, and you understand their overall goals, and you start looking into these chemicals and these different ingredients and what they do and what they are, because half of it ain't even real food. Some of these things come from petroleum. Some of these things come from chemicals. Some of these things come from doggone bugs, all type of stuff. You know what I mean? Flavorings, natural flavorings, man. If you ever look up like what natural flavorings are, you'll understand that it comes from an animal's rectum that is not that you would not want to eat. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I just leave it at that. Look up where natural flavorings really come from. A lot of them, that is. Thank you so much. Great info. I must pass your channel to my family. Yeah, I appreciate that, Derek. I never knew that one. Yeah, natural flavorings, man. I want to say they say it comes from, it's either beaver or something like that, but they're rectum, pretty much. You see what I'm saying? Like, a lot of these chemicals come from things like that you would never even know about. And like, even like, okay, so even all like, whether you Hebrew, Muslim, you know what I mean, and you say you don't eat pork, a lot of these ingredients have, a lot of these different processed foods, their ingredients contain pork. Gelatin is pork. Gelatin is pork. So if you saying you don't eat pork, but you eating Skittles, or you eating Jello, or you eating, even it's so crazy that even a lot of the pill capsules that you take are made from gelatin, and that's pork that you put in your body, but you don't even realize that it comes from pork. It comes from a pig. You feel what I'm saying? So it's just a lot of stuff like that, man. When you start really, I'm learning more towards being a naturalist, just 100% natural ingredients. Exactly. I have a friend who we were talking to. He was saying basically it's a concept that him and his family are doing called getting closer to the table, meaning, because when you're far away from the table, that means you're really eating a lot of different things that come from sources that you don't know what they put in it. They could put fillers, all this type of stuff. That's not natural. That's not good. So getting closer to the table is really cutting out the middleman, getting rid of a lot of these processed foods, a lot of these different ingredients, and getting closer to the natural source of the food that you're eating. Whether that be the meat, whether that be the vegetables, whether that be the bread, the spices, the season, whatever the case may be. So, when you start looking at stuff like that, right? A lot of these different ingredients, and then a lot of these different agendas, with the GMOs and with the lab grown meat. Like, I'm gonna just be honest with you. I never eat nothing that they talking about lab grown. I would never eat that. I would never eat that. I go out here and butcher a chicken, turkey real quick. Sheep, goat, lamb, whatever. I'm not eating that. You know what I mean? Like, but they pushing this type of stuff. Impossible meat, beyond meat. Like, man, people crazy, bro. People are really crazy. Like, you can have the real thing, but you want the beyond meat. You want the impossible meat. That when you look on the ingredients list is this big. Versus if you eat the real thing, the ingredients list is that big because it's only one ingredient. Like, think about that. You feel what I'm saying? So when you start seeing stuff like this, when you start understanding the agendas and stuff like that, it makes you want to become more self-sufficient, right? And in order to become self-sufficient, you got to embrace all the seasons of life. You got to embrace all of it. And you got to welcome all of it. And you got to take advantage of all of it. Specifically with the winter season and with the rainy season, where you're having time to reflect. What can I do better? Okay, I grew 45% of what I ate. Okay, how can I get to 60% by next year? What are some things I can do? What are some things I can add into the budget, or costs I can cut in other areas that don't necessarily have nothing to do with my longevity and my survival? You see what I'm saying? So just thinking about it in terms like that and really just embracing it, man, for real. I just want to give y'all that motivation for real. Making your own soil is big. Exactly, your own compost. Making your own soil. Amending your own soil. I was I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna let y'all go in a minute, but I was watching I like to listen to Lead Farmer a lot. Shout out to Lead Farmer 73. I like to listen to him a lot and Homestead Heart. I like to listen to, and I hate if this sounds anyway, but really I really don't care. But I like to listen to Black people who are doing it, right? I like to listen to people who look like me and who share my struggles. I like to listen to them, and their advice and what they got going on. So I listen to Lead Farmer a lot. And he was talking about soil and stuff like that, because he was like, yeah, man, people be asking me and stuff like, what kind of soil do you use for this? And he was like, man, just get any kind of dirt. It don't even matter. And he was just talking about people who go and constantly buying dirt and buying soil and all this, and they spending all this money buying soil, when really you got soil that you can use at your house, that you can put some amendments in. You can make your own natural fertilizers. Because one of his fertilizers that he uses, that I've been using for years now, is he puts the banana peels in water. You know what I'm saying? And so, basically it soaks in, and you got that potassium rich, water pretty much that you can add for fertilizer to your plants, right? And that's a natural fertilizer nobody would ever thought about, right? You also got your vegetable scraps, right, that you could turn into compost and all that type of stuff. You also got chicken manure, sheep manure, cow manure. It's a lot of different natural ways to amend your own soil that you don't have to. Because what do you think farmers did, or people did, or our ancestors did when there wasn't no Home Depot or Lowe's to go to? What do you think they did? What kind of fertilizers do you think they used? They didn't have fish fertilizer. They didn't have, I forget the other name of these little fertilizers, but they didn't have that. They used what was from the earth. They used what was natural. Because it's a cycle of life. Everything that comes from the earth goes back to the earth. You see what I'm saying? And so they use natural methods. Hold on, let me check on this meat, y'all. Hold on. Yeah, let's get back done. Yeah, it's getting back done. Oh man, my fault, y'all. My fault. But they didn't have they didn't have Home Depot, the Lowe's, or Amazon drop shipping. They didn't have none of that. But they grew hundreds of acres of cotton. They grew hundreds of acres of corn, hundreds of acres of soy, hundreds of acres of peas or whatever they was growing. And guess what? It was better quality than it is today. Coffee and eggshells can be used. Oh, thank you for that, Mama Rhoda. I appreciate that. DNR Homestead. Thank you. That's another one that I learned from there. I ain't gonna lie, man. I be learning a lot, man. I be learning a lot from a lot of these different, gardeners, homesteaders, farmers, whatever you want to call it. But Led Farmer taught me that one with the coffee and eggshells. Because when you think about the eggshells, um, it's like it's like calcium, you know what I mean, to the soil and different things like that. And one thing that I'm big into is really like using your animals too, using your chickens, using your sheep, using that manure as well. You know what I mean? You can go buy cow manure and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with that because I've done that too. But like using what you have, because guess what, man, that's anybody who walk out in their front yard or their backyard, that dirt that you have there, 9 times out of 10, you can plant in that and it'll bring forth some good crop. You feel what I'm saying? You don't need all this stuff. It's about self-sufficiency, man. They just market this stuff because it makes money. Like when will we escape the capitalist mindset and the capitalist game to the point to where they telling you, well, you need to buy this from here in order for this to. No, you don't. Because what did people do before they had that? They figured out ways to use what they had to produce what they needed. So it's really just about taking the time to reflect so you can really like take advantage of those different type of things. With my brothers like you bring knowledge to the people. Exactly. That's the main goal for real, because I thought about this probably like a month or two ago, right? I said, if every family, right? If every black family, and I'm speaking specifically towards black people because, that's my target audience. Melanated black people, Negro people, whatever you want to call us, Hebrew, whatever. That's my target audience because we have been stripped of pretty much a lot of this stuff that we had. So, anyways, I digress on that point. But I said this. I said if every black family, depending on the size of your family, give or take, an acre or two, I feel like if every black family owned at least half an acre or an acre, man, that I feel like that should be the necessary requirement. If every black family owned or lived on at least half an acre, you can have multiple chicken coops. You can have a chicken coop, a turkey coop, quail, coop, whatever, rabbit, whatever. I don't know, whatever you want to, whatever meat you eat or whatever you want to grow. And then you can have multiple raised bed gardens. You can have a regular garden, right? You can have a chicken coop for eggs. You can have a chicken coop for meat. Now you might not be able to grow the bigger game like a sheep or a goat or a cow, but guess what? You'll be able to supplement, right? You'll be able to grow a good deal of the things you eat. And the things that you can't grow on your land, you can go and buy or trade and barter and get it from your other brothers and sisters who do have that land. You see what I'm saying? But if every black family owned at least a half an acre of land, man, that would really be ideal. You feel what I'm saying? If we all just try to say, you know what, for my family, I'm gonna just buy this 1 acre of land or this half an acre, whatever the case may be, and live on that, I can garden, I can, forage, I can, have chickens, this, that, and the third. That would really solve a lot of our problems. That would really solve a lot of our problems. If we all just strive, because this is the thing, not everybody needs to own 10, 50, 100, 200 acres, right? Especially if if that ain't really like what you like to do. But like the things that because I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of our ancestors, they necessarily didn't even have a half an acre to live on. But in their backyard, they made sure they had a garden and a chicken coop. and the turkey coop. You see what I'm saying? My great grandparents had that in their backyard. Their neighbors had that in their backyards. They had community gardens. They had a garden in their backyard too, a personal one. It's like everybody grew food back then. Everybody. It was like the way of life. If we got back to that today, you know what that would help us out with? Not only economics, but it'll also help with our health. It will help with our health. A lot of these diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, cancers, all these different things would be eradicated pretty much because you eating stuff that you grew yourself. It would really and then you would have the skills and the knowledge and stuff like that, just how to grow your own food. Like, bro, that would really revolutionize us as a people. My parents and both set of grandparents did exactly. That was common. That was actually very common, especially if your people from the South. Like, if your people from the South, your people knew how to grow their own food. I just got mine about 45 years ago. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. That's amazing. But yeah, man, you know, I'm just saying all that to say embrace every season of your life, even when it's rain, even when it's cold, when it's winter, you know, and that goes for both physically and spiritually. Be thankful for it and embrace it, right? Learn the lessons that need to be learned, lean into it, take what needs to be taken from it. And you know, as a result of it, you will be blessed by it. You will be able to become more self-sufficient. You'll be able to be a blessing to more people. You'll be able to, you feel what I'm saying? Like, you know, just embrace it. Don't look at it as a bad thing. As we going into the season, let the land rest. Let yourself rest. I mean, that's not to say you can't grow nothing to do nothing and do no projects, because you can do that. But prepare for the springtime, and then for the springtime, prepare for the summertime, and then for the summertime, prepare for the fall, which is the harvest, and then repeat the cycle all over again. But yeah, that's all I want to chop it up with y'all about. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. You know what I mean? I hope everybody have a great work week. You know what I mean? I just started a new job, so that's why y'all ain't really been. Well, I mean, I've been posting videos, but you know, not as much on YouTube because I just started a job where I'm working from home now, so I'm just really trying to get in the rhythm, and you know how it is, just learning everything. So I'll pray to the Most High for that I get to be on my farm and work from home and all that good stuff. So you know, I appreciate y'all. Hope y'all have a great week. But just remember that. Lean into it. Embrace all these seasons because it's needed. You would rather have the rain than not have it. You feel what I'm saying? You would rather have a winter than not have it. You know what I mean? And that's the same thing in your life. You'd rather have seasons where you have to go through something and learn and struggle, because you get everything handed to you. You're not going to appreciate nothing. You're going to self-destruct. And then you're going to be all the way up here. Then you got to go all the way to the bottom because nothing that you did, you didn't have to work for it. You didn't have to struggle for nothing. You didn't have to go through nothing. There wasn't no lessons that you had to learn in order to receive that to the point where you can appreciate that. You want to be able to appreciate it because life is not about being happy. Contrary to what the world tells you, it's not about being happy. We sometimes too complacent, we are. But life is not about being happy. You know, we always hear that. Do what makes you happy. Happy is a temporary feeling you get when you get a dopamine hit. You don't want to be, you don't want to, well, you want to be happy, of course, but I'm just saying you don't want to strive to make happiness your everything, because cocaine makes some people happy. Drinking liquor every day makes some people happy. Smoking crack makes some people happy. I hate to say it like that, but it's true. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be chasing happiness. You should be striving to have joy in a deeper sense of fulfillment. Life is about fulfillment. It's not about happiness. So yeah, man, I just want to say all that. Being too happy, man. Hey, tell me about it. Being too happy. Negroes got too happy. Now look where we at. You know what I'm saying? But I digress. But anyways, man, like I always like to say, man, if you give somebody the power to feed you, you give them the power to starve you, man, take advantage of these seasons that you're in, and don't look at them as negative. Look at them as positive, and understand that it's about having a sense of fulfillment and not just necessarily being happy. But I'll talk to y'all later, man. Appreciate y'all for chopping it up with me. Peace and blessings. Shalom.